Does a no-spend January really help you to save money?
Well, the answer is sometimes. All month long, we'll be covering topics that will help set you up for financial success in 2022. And we're getting the ball rolling with a no-spend January. Here's what we'll cover in this program. We'll tell you exactly what a no-spend January is, just in case you're unfamiliar with it. We'll tell you why we think that it really does work, a list of pros and cons, if you will, and then we'll give you our list of things that you should do to have a successful no-spend month. Hey, if you don't know us, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. Every week we talk about practical frugality. So the question at hand today is no spend January. Does it work or doesn't it work?
So just what is a no-spend January? I think we need to spend a little time and just define that a little.
So does it mean that you spend absolutely no money at all? Well, of course not. There are necessities that you have to spend money on. The whole idea of a no-spend January or a no-spend month or a no-spend challenge, if you will, is that you will deliberately take a set period of time in which you do away with discretionary spending. So what are some of the general rules of a no-spend month?
Well, as you mentioned, you want to pay your basic bills. That would be your phone bill, your utility bill, insurance, anything that you absolutely have to pay.
Your rent, your mortgage, things like that.
Yeah. Your groceries, you have to buy groceries. You need to feed your family. You can't go without feeding them for a month. That would not be kind.
You will spend some money on groceries during a no-spend challenge, but oftentimes you will find that people say, well, let's see if we can eat out of our pantry or out of the supplies we have at home as much as possible during a no-spend month.
And you should avoid things like eating out, going to movies, extra entertainment.
No impulse buys, guys. Nothing that would scream, yeah, I don't really need to spend this money right now.
So that means you want to stay off of items that would cause temptation.
No discretionary spending during this period of time. So no haircuts, no manicures, no pedicures, no massages, nothing that is an extra that you sometimes treat yourself to.
And as Hope touched on, you want to do limited spending at the grocery store. You want to take a look at your pantry, your freezers. What do you have on hand? This is the time to use those things up.
Well, now that we've defined it, and it doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, we're going to tell you what the heck is the goal of a no-spend January then? Why do you even want to do one?
Yeah, and I think you need a goal in order to maintain the idea of going through a whole month of doing this. So one goal is that this will give you a fresh start. And January is a good time to do that. This is the start of a new year. This is kind of a reset button is the way I look at it. You're pressing a button and you're going to reset some of your own spending habits.
The other thing that a no-spend month does is it does allow you to understand that there is money available in your budget. You can create a little bit of give in your budget, even if you really feel like there is none. Usually there actually is. And this no-spend month kind of proves it to you.
This allows you also to create new habits. It takes 30 days to form a new habit. So a no-spend month is a perfect opportunity to do that.
Now, before we roll into what we see as the pros and the cons of a no-spend month or a no-spend challenge, the question is, have we ever done one?
Yes, we have done one. Yes. And we've done it on several different levels.
All right, so we have done a straight no-spend month, just like we just described to you. We have done those in the past. We've also done kind of a variation of it where we just don't go to the grocery store for a month. It's kind of a grocery no-spend month where we just strictly eat out of the pantry and the freezer and whatever we have in the house. We did that for a month. We actually did that 2 months in a row. And we've also done, can I do a drum roll?
Oh, go ahead.
We've done a no-spend year, guys. We actually did 2 no-spend years. We're going to explain to you exactly when and why we did those 2 no-spend years. We were saving massive amounts of money to pay cash for the home in which we are currently living. And we gave ourselves 2 years to save $30,000 and our income was around $40,000 a year. So those were the 2 years in which we said we're just literally not spending any money we don't need to spend. So that kind of rolls us right into a list of pros and a list of cons.
Well, as Hope mentioned, one of the pros is we had a goal in mind. Our goal was to get out of a house that we'd outgrown in a neighborhood that was no longer safe to live in. And that was a major goal, and we were very motivated to obtain that goal.
It was good incentive.
Oh, yeah.
All right, another pro is it gives you a chance to embrace that horrible thing we all think we hate called delayed gratification.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
Gives
all
me
of a sudden,
shivers.
when we embrace it, we realize that there is a certain degree of empowerment in telling ourselves, I'm not going to buy that right now. I'm going to wait to buy that. That delayed gratification, I think we need to see far more as a friend and far less as a foe. And I think a no-spend time period gives you time to realize that.
I see delayed gratification as kind of a sifter. When they were discovering gold out in Alaska, they had a device that had a screen in the bottom that they would put in the streams to sift for gold. And in the same sense, delayed gratification helps you take some time and sift through whether you really need that item or not. Is it sand or is it gold?
A no-spend time period will allow you to reset your priorities. You'll find out really quickly what is truly, truly important to you and what maybe isn't so important that we thought was really important before we did the no-spend time period.
It also creates a habit of your asking yourself, do I really need this?
It reminds us that life is about more than spending money. We tend, after a period of time, we have to be honest, all right? So you guys talk to us in the comments section. We want to know how you're feeling about the list of pros and cons. Have you done a no-spend January, no-spend month, a no-spend year? What has your experience been like? And does it resonate with you, this list of pros and cons that we're giving you right now? It allows you to really figure out that there's more about life than spending money. We tend over a period of time to sort of begin to associate good times, friends, family, great experiences, fun with spending money. We all do it. And then after a time period, we have to remind ourselves, no, I can still have friends, family, and fun without spending money.
It also reminds you of your free entertainment options. There's nothing nicer than just sitting and curling up with a good book or maybe listening to music that you have recorded. There's so many different things you can do that doesn't cost any money. Go for a walk, go out in the forest. Take in some nature, go do some photography, whatever you like to do that isn't going to cost you cash out of your pocket. Could be a no-spend entertainment item that would fit well into that particular no-spend month.
Now, here's another thought, guys. It allows you to spend time at home without feeling guilty. How many of us are like, well, I'd love to sit down and read a book, but then there's all these other things that are taking up our time. And when you're doing a no-spend month, it's like, wow, I can sit down, I can read a book, I can have something nice to drink while I'm reading my book, listen to good music, and not feel guilty about doing it. I love it.
Yeah, that sounds good. It also allows you to reconnect with family or friends. We love to have friends over and just reminisce and have some laughs and some good talk and remembering things, old times. It doesn't cost anything to entertain some of your friends or family. And it's a great way to reconnect.
Just play cards, sit and chat, or have a potluck dinner with your friends. It's all good, and it all is wonderful to reconnect with people that you kind of have felt like you didn't have time to connect with. Now, here's another one that we call the cha-ching factor about a no-spend month. There is money involved here. All right, so you will have more cha-ching in your pocket, more money at the end of 30 days when you have a no-spend month.
And you'll also use up some items that you already have in your home that are not costing you anything.
Now, here's a list of possible cons with a no-spend month.
Well, if your mindset isn't correct, you'll get really frustrated. You need to have a why. Why am I doing that? So you need to have kind of a goal to shoot for.
Now, as you can tell, we're kind of fans of no spend periods of time. We think it's a great way to completely sort of turn what we've expected on its head, if you will, and to reprioritize our life and figure out what's really important. And so we love no spend periods of time. But in our opinion, tell us if you agree with us, in order for it to be truly successful, and for you not to feel like by day 10 that you hate this and you can't wait for it to be over, you need to have a why in mind. Why are you doing this? What is the end goal? Y'all know we're super, super big on goals. And I think even when it comes to a no spend period of time, you need to have a goal in mind.
Yeah, and you don't want to just see it as deprivation. It needs to be a time where you have a chance to change the trajectory of your 2022 budget.
Now, here's the last con that comes into play. You could wind up just making this long, either mental or even a written list of things that you are going to go out and spend money on February 1st. It's like you're just waiting. It's like your finger is there waiting to hit the buy button. As soon as the stroke of midnight happens and it's February 1st, you're like, done, buying all this stuff. That is definitely not the idea of a no spend month. So bear in mind that when you do this, the whole thing is to set some new priorities and set some new habits. And when you have that in mind, all of a sudden you will get to February 1st and think, you know what? I really don't need that thing. And you won't feel that inner pressure to all of a sudden start buying things. You know, it's interesting because when we went through that 2-year time period, we'd given ourselves 24 months to save $30,000. We did it in 20 months. When we bought this house, we thought for sure that we would just cut loose and then start spending all the money that we had been not spending for the past 20 months. And the truth is, by the time we bought the house, we had realized there are a lot of things we really didn't want to spend money on anymore. So we just didn't.
And I think the main reason, too, is we put a pretty good chunk of change in on the house, and we didn't have a lot of extra money to spend. So, and we had to do some repairs on the house, too. So really, we didn't change our habits after we went through that 2-year period. I'd like to equate this a little bit to dieting. Mm-hmm. You know, if you spend a couple of years really trimming off your diet and you lose weight and you lose it slowly and responsibly, and you look great after 2 years. But if you just go back to the same old eating habits, you're going to be in the same place in another year. So once you have developed those habits, you want to maintain them, at least to a certain degree. I mean, that doesn't mean you never have any fun, you don't spend any extra money. But this is a way to kind of harness that a little bit and bring it under control.
Those are the pros and the cons. Or what are the secrets to success if you want to give this a go?
Well, you don't want to put yourself in front of temptation. You don't want to go out, window shopping, if anybody even does that anymore. What I mean by window shopping, just stick out of the stores. You don't need to be going out.
Stay off the internet. There you go. That's our 2022 window shopping, isn't it?
Probably more importantly, to stay off of websites like Amazon, unless you have a purpose and a specific thing that you need to buy. Stay off of those sites, eBay, whatever else, at wish.com, and take a month off of those. You don't need to be surfing the net for things to be putting temptation in front of your eyes.
The second thing that will help you is if you have an attitude, a mindset of success. If you go into it thinking, I'm going to do this thing, it just gives you all that much more push forward to be able to make it to the end. But if you go into it thinking, I'm going to give this a try, you probably won't make it 30 days. So set your mind to, I'm going to do this.
And I would say, along with that, have an accountability partner. Maybe your partner, your married partner, or just a good friend, a good close friend. Bring them in on the goal that you're doing, and then have them say, hey, how's that going? Are you still doing that? It's always good. I think that really helps kind of cement the habit of being a no-spend month.
And speaking of accountability partners, guys, our good buddy Kate Caden is actually doing a no spend January challenge over on her channel. So if this is something that you are super interested in doing, then head over to Kate's channel. I'll make sure there's a link in the description of this video. She is having a blast over there. Not only that, guys, so she's going live like once a week to kind of check in on people. And Larry and I often hop on. So we are like in the audience when Kate's live and chatting it up with everybody in the live chat. So it is so much fun. And she is making it a lot of fun and really encouraging people to do this and to reach those goals. So here's our hats off to Kate Caden, and we'll send you over there after you're done watching this video. What else can they do, Larry, that's going to help them reach these goals?
Yeah, another secret to success is to, as we've mentioned, find some other things to do. There are other things to do. You know, as I look around our house, I have
lots of things to do.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of things that we need to do around the house that wouldn't cost us a lot of extra money, picking up, cleaning out, maybe donating some things. And I have a lot to do on that. But there's also some nice recreational things to do. You know, I play the piano. It doesn't cost any money. I have a large record collection. You might have a large CD collection or MP3 file collection. But whatever it is, I mean, when the weather warms up, we like to play Frisbee out in the backyard. That doesn't cost anything. There are so many things that you can do that don't cost any extra money.
Couple more things you can do that will make this a successful experience for you. One of them is to track your expenses and track your experience. So those are two things that you want to track, your experience and your expenses. So really put a number on it. How much money am I spending? How much money am I saving by doing this no spend month? Hey, if you want an overview of all the things we'll cover this month on the channel and find out how this whole series started, there's a link to last Monday's video right over there, and that's what you should watch next.